we had to bring it back on home. So election season is over. We have some dismal numbers. I'm sure we're gonna talk about that a little bit. I'm just leaving Corliss High School. It's the annual quarterly of the district council where we get together and talk about some things that's going on across the city. Election season is over. We have some dismal numbers. And then, there's always something else that's gonna come up. Hopefully, we can get Dwayne Truss on, talk a little bit about this SROs. I know it's something that y'all brought up a couple times that we definitely want to touch base on. Otherwise, we're gonna get the show on the road. We got Arnold here. Oh, I ain't even put Steve. Wait, you can get your. I realize you ain't have your.
Am I in?
No, you don't got your camera on.
Yeah. Okay, get the camera on. Let's get the camera on. How can my camera not be on?
Oh, there we go. And then, so y'all know how we do. When we start off, say, what you got going on, Steve?
Oh, you said it. We getting right into it. We got to talk about the aftermath. Congressman Davis had a rally, like what would you call that, Arnold? Finishing rally?
Yeah, some post analysis and thanking all the volunteers and individuals who participated in the campaign, and just thank the voters, especially the senior citizens.
What you say, it was a senior citizen victory, huh?
Yeah.
How he called it? That's I think the way he called it.
What
got somebody ready to get in.
Don't count the senior citizens out.
Yeah, we was having this conversation, Arnold, and Angelica the other day about the history of voting and where it looks like it's going, because my group, the millennials, are supposed to be, we should be leading the vote totals, but we just don't care enough, or there's too much information, or we don't associate the people in office with ourselves, or people don't understand the process. Either way, all of these things that I just mentioned are things that I talked to my brothers and some other folks about, and they did not vote. And so I had to ask them, okay, so what's your reasoning? And they gave me all of those reasons. And the thing is, that's the reasoning of a lot of folks that's millennial age. But how we expect to lead anything or be decision makers if we're not going to show up when it's time to make those decisions?
Well, you got to show up and show out. That's just it.
We keep complaining about having the same thing, but the one thing that's never going to fail is the recognition of being in that seat. People will always go for what they know over what they don't, because that's just the way we're wired as humans. It's called routine. And once you get in the routine, it's difficult to break it.
Right.
So you see the same name, you vote for the same name.
But you said something that's very interesting. You said that they had a lot of reasons for not voting.
Yeah, they had a lot of reasons not voting.
But my question is, how they registered? Because you could talk all day about how you want to carry and have a concealed carry, and I'm going to carry a gun, and I got a gun. But guess what? If you ain't never got a Ford card, that ain't even started the process. So that's the big picture. You can see why they're not voting if they're not registered. That's the first thing. It's like there are processes and procedures that everybody got to do before you start talking about anything. When you jump in a pool, you don't know how to swim. You got to know. You better have a flotation device first.
I don't think that matters. I don't think, because you can get registered and still not vote. The unfortunate is, I feel like if you register people, the only thing you're doing is making the numbers look more dismal than they already are. Because the reason why it's 20% is because these are the number of registered voters versus the people that actually vote. So the more people you get registered that don't come vote, the more the numbers are gonna look bad. So it's just like, do you want to see bad numbers, or do you just want, you want to see high numbers of registered voters just because?
Well, I would rather have people ready to cop, have their hand on a gun that's ready, loaded, and cocked, than one that they got a fumble. Well, what do I do? How do I do this? Why did I do this? When should I have done this? You should have done this a long time ago. You should have had this ready. Then when you're ready to make a decision, you move your tail and go get it done. But to sit back and not be registered tells me a lot. It tells me a lot. And I find most often people that I talk to that know so much about politics don't know jack because they ain't even registered.
Yeah. Can I say something?
Your voice is your vote.
Yeah. You know, I talked with a senior citizen who didn't vote. And I told him that the reason why senior citizens vote is that they're old enough to remember when we went through the struggle to get the right to vote. You know, and they remember people who got killed for voting. They remember the Voting Rights Act, and they know how important the vote is. Whereas young people, they talk about it, but they don't vote. It's not surprising that Danny was saying thanks to the senior citizens. The senior citizens vote.
Well, what you're saying, there's no passion behind it, no passion for others to get out there and make a difference. But I'll tell you another thing I think it is. I think, hold your ears, y'all. I think it's time to let the old people, your younger people know it's time to get off the tit. That's the real thing. They so used to sucking the tit that they don't know how to do nothing else. Well, if my parents will take care of it, my grandmama will take care of it, the older people gonna do what they gonna do anyway. Yeah, but we yank that tit out your mouth, what you gonna do? Seriously, you gotta step up and show out. What they say, show up and show out. You gotta do it. We ain't gonna be here forever. Then everybody gonna be standing outside a polling place, looking at each other 50 years from now saying, what we do? Why do we do this? We ain't ever registered. Wow. We know what the issues were.
That's what I was saying to the number point. The numbers are dwindling such to the point that we are going to become the 55 plus year olds that's technically supposed to be the decision makers. But if we're not voting right now, there's no reason why the people under us are going to have a higher turnout and the people after them going to have a higher turnout. We're going to get to the space where people are going to say, there is no point in having this anymore because they don't make decisions anymore. That's what I see what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, but think about what you just said. You're going to be looking at each other in the mirror. You're going to be looking at yourself saying, what do we do? If there's no one there there are no constituents or there are no voters, you're going to be looking at each other saying, what should we do now? Do we just go out? But you know what's going to happen? Politics is going to take its own course. Political entities are going to see what it is and they're going to run amok. They're going to run amok because they're going to say, we got free reign.
Well, it's already happening. I mean, the unions have started to coalesce and become the majority, if you will, in terms of vote holders. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to be, and the congressman said this too. He said the people that's at state all going to be supported by a union or in the union because that's where the power is starting to come. So at the end of the day, as the congressman also said, when he leaves, the only thing is the next man up gonna stand up, and the power just gonna get rotated somewhere else. So what we're witnessing, especially with the rise of the unions, CTUs and the United Workers, UWF, and the FOP per se. No, because they weak. I mean, no, FOP is the strongest police union in the country. But I'm talking about in terms of votership and who's actually putting people in office. We've just seen the rise of the progressives because of the union. CTU, UFW, SEIU, AFL, all of these people are coalescing, and this is where our votes are coming from. So the more people that are connected to these entities, they're going to start to impart their stances on the nation or in this city or state or however you want to believe it, because the other people are not doing it. So all it is what we're witnessing is a rotation of power base. Right. At one point it was how would you say probably was labor at one point that really was the driving force, and now you're moving it to it was business at some point, and now you're talking about it moving to union. So Those are the people that's gonna come out and vote and make a difference.
You said CTU, Chicago's Teachers Union.
Yeah.
What's odd about that is the teachers support that by paying their dues, right?
Some of them reluctantly. If you look at some reports, some teachers are not happy that their money gets spent the way that it is.
And to my point, they have no clue who these people are that's running off of their money.
Yeah.
I trust me. I got a lot of relatives that work in the teachers, and they're teachers in the system. They asked me about Brandon Johnson. They said, "Who's this punk? Who's this guy?" I said, "Well, it's funny that you asked.
Right.
I know exactly who he is. I know where he lives. He's been by your uncle's house. He's been collaborating with us on some issues." And I said, "It's funny. You pay your dues every month for decades in, decades out. You don't even know who half these political candidates are."
Right.
And they're coming they're coming from your money. They're being pushed from your money. But hey, something's got to give, man. It's got to give. But to Congressman Danny Davis's point, thanks to the older people.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But, what does that really mean? Everybody's going to get old, hopefully. But what do we do in the meanwhile? The ones that are not voting, that will get old. Yeah. I mean, it's a sticky situation. And this is not just Chicago. This is not just Illinois. This is the whole country. The whole country is feeling this whole how you want to call it, demise of the what we call it, demise of the voters' rights. No, not their rights, because they have the rights. It's just not utilized.
And the Chicago Teachers Union, they back Melissa. They endorsed Melissa in the election, and I don't think she's ever been a teacher.
Well, that's DeAndre's point. You have these unions that have no allegiance or any alignment with anything that you think they should, and they do what they want, and they push these most of them progressive candidates, and they get to the front of everything, and it's like, how do we get here? You paid your dues, you have nothing to do with it. They use your money to get traction, and they get that person right there. That's what they do.
Right. And I'm a retired teacher. They never asked me who I wanted to endorse.
Well,
that's why you did not support that
decision. Right.
Well, you got to think about it. They feel that they did ask you who you wanted to endorse, because guess what? You allowed them to take your union dues. Once you let people take your union dues, you kind of got, they got your attention by saying, we take your money and we do what we need to because you trust us to do what we need with your money and the mission. Until they ask for a vote on something.
The unions fall in that same category as well with their membership. Because the union officers may endorse, but the membership doesn't necessarily have to go along. So they're going to vote for who they want. Anyway.
So you either you trust the union or you don't. It's gonna happen.
Well, that wrote in the labor, the company labor negotiations contractually, they have to pay dues, what they call closed shop or some union shop agreement.
Right.
All the main things, joining the union and a certain length of time paying dues. So they locked in there, but that's as far as it goes.
Right.
Who the officers will endorse and how they arrive to that decision doesn't mean the membership follow.
Well, let's look at CTU, Chicago Teachers Union. What are their numbers looking like, DeAndre?
How many members?
Members and let's talk money. What are they raising? What kind of numbers money are they raising?
I mean, they just spent $2 million on the main campaign.
Which man?
Brandon Johnson.
Oh, Brandon.
So $2 million.
$2 million.
They spent $400,000 and bring home Chicago.
And they brought home nothing. want to talk about? Bring Home Chicago or?
So, whatever percent interest that participated in that effort of, getting that referendum passed,
And for those that don't know, the referendum is, Arnold,
to bring home Chicago.
and that means what, Arnold?
Well,
You want to elaborate, because it's deep.
Well, that's to raise, money from the transaction real estate. It's a tax according to the amount, $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million, and then determine at what rate, percentage they will be taxed as far as what they call the transaction real estate tax on $1 million and up property.
But it's minimum 20%.
No. Well, the rate right now is 0.75%, and had that passed, it would have went down to 0.60% for $1 million or less property as far as real estate transactions.
So it even affects anything less than $1 million?
Well, that was the rate of what you will be taxed there, but there was no clarity. For example, even though we're thinking $1 million, all that's got to be some multi-unit. There are some single family homes.
Right.
For example, your property here will be $1 million. So how could you in good conscience say, I'm for that?
So my understanding, I thought I read the referendum very well. It was $1 million over and above, but you're saying it affected everybody regardless of.
If your property, if you were buying or selling, and it amounted to $1 million, you will be taxed according to the amount of the sale.
Okay.
Okay, at a determined rate of from 1 to 1.5 to 2%, according to the value of the amount of the value of the transaction.
Okay, so it was 1 to 2%. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't 10 to 20. But still, 1 to 2% is a lot of money for $1 million. Yeah, that's what I got it.
Well, see, there was no clarity when I was reading and listening to the commentary as to distinguish, because in our community, here's a good example. It all depends on the makeup of your community, big structures and people living in, as to how they view this real estate transaction tax and a referendum. For example, I'm saying if you have a community of homes that does not exceed $1 million, well, yeah, you could conceivably vote for it because your taxes, if you can, that will go down to about 15%, you might say, so 0.60% in transactions.
0.15%, not 0.15.
Yeah. So if it was $1 million or more, that means it would go up. So what's 1% or 1.5 of $1 million?
1% of $1 million is what? $10,000?
$10,000. That's just right.
And you said in a half of that, or you add half more to it, or you subtract half from the 10,000.
Either way, but I'm just saying, and if you was renting, you see that cost will be passed on
to the renter.
To the renter. See, and when these discussions start coming about, then people all depend on where they're at.
So let's just be clear. At the end of the day, the referendum been passed for several reasons. One, it's confusing as hell. Two, it's trying to take your money and you don't even know what money you're giving. And that's just for that portion of the taxes you're gonna pay. You're still gonna pay property taxes. You're still gonna pay income taxes. You're gonna pay employee taxes. You're gonna pay all these taxes we pay in the city, and now they're gonna throw another one that we don't even know what they're gonna do with the money because they said help the homeless.
That was another.
I mean, somebody explain it to me.
Well, the Lord court, that's why it was appealed to the appellate court, as far as, getting it on the ballot. Now, the circuit court ruled that there was too many questions asked in a referendum under the Constitution. That was their interpretation, that you can't ask 3 questions and expect 1 answer in so many words. So that's why the decision ruled against the referendum. But
Right.
appeal to the appellate court, they said, no, let the voters decide, and then they can still go into court after the voters have rendered a decision as to the constitutionality of the referendum again.
I got you.
Yeah. To the earlier question, there's 25,000 members of CTU.
Right.
25,000. Wow. And that money is making the deciding factors in political races.
I mean,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
more than that. We've seen it.
You get 25,000. I mean, just the rent. Say they're paying $60 a month.
right.
And you receive that from 25,000 membership.
Shit, let's just say they pay $4 a month. That is $100,000 a month.
Right off the bat.
That's $1.2 million a year from just them. That membership paying $4 and they paid $48. So that's $48 a year, and you made $1.2 million. I mean,
Somebody said,
crazy.
who's on iPhone? They said, well, I was told that money was going to be used for the homeless, and the homeless being the immigrants. So,
I mean, well, the money was gonna go to so here's the deal. I personally think that Bring Chicago Home would have been useful for homelessness, but with the environment that we're operating in, we would be foolish to believe that some of that money would not have also been used to fund migrant homelessness.
right.
I mean, that's just what the truth of the matter is. Yeah, we would have been serviced as well, but I think there was folks making it seem as if this would have no the migrant situation would have no bearing on where that resource went to, and I just think that is untruthful. We know for a fact that they would have benefited from that.
Well,
they're here. They're here now. It doesn't matter how we feel about it. They're here.
Let me say this regarding the migrant issue. I've had, in the last month and a half, 5 people come to me about being homeless. I've had 2 women. One of them had 3 babies, a 1-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old, homeless at the police station. No place to go. Another one had 4 children. I think the oldest was 14, if I'm not mistaken. But the others were not even in their teens. Homeless. I had a gentleman Friday I met. He came all the way from St. Louis, and he was homeless there, and he's homeless even more here. Young man, he lost his place because his mom had the place on, what do they call it? Not affordable. What do they call it when they have rent adjustments? Subsidized, yeah. And his mom passed away, and he had grew up in the home with her, and she passed away with a heart attack. They offered him the place. He got behind in the rent. They got him out. He's homeless. You see a lot of that. A lot of young people and a lot of women and children homeless. And we still talking about migrants. And these are people I know have come to me to help them. I got a lady now. She been jumping from house to house to house because her grandson and her son are bringing her down. Her son's a habitual drug user. Her grandson is a habitual criminal. He ain't even 15. He had been in jail 30 times since he was 8 years old, 10 years old. Well, I don't say 30, I'd say 20. So, what do you do? And she's jumping from house to house because she's having problems with police coming in, kicking the doors down, the landlord saying, hey, you gotta go, and whatever. But again, there's a large amount of people in our community that are homeless for a various amount of reasons, and they are getting zero attention. Yep. And then you can say, well, that's their fault. You know, the lady shouldn't have had the babies and she shouldn't have had the kids, but we can't look at all that. We gotta look at what the problem is right now. What's in front of us, what's on the table right now. We can't go back to a way back time machine, you know, and say, you know, we're gonna do this, do that. No. We have to deal with what we have in front of us now. The young man that lost the place because he was living with his mom. Maybe, you know, yeah, you should have been out on your own. You're 24 years old now. You should have been out on your own and did, you know, unfortunately your mom passed. But hey, you know, we can say a lot of things about that. But the reality is, what are we gonna do about it? Because it's just not looking good when you're just throwing thousands and thousands of dollars out to other people. And these individuals, they have nothing. Yeah, did they put themselves in that situation? Okay, yeah. But the migrants put themselves in the situation that they're in also, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did anyone make them or put them in a situation to make them go through what they're going through?
No, they can't.
But I mean, maybe somebody did that where they lived at before. We don't know. We don't know what the situation was before. Maybe they got evicted from the country they came from. The landlord told them, we don't want you here anymore, you know, and they said, okay, I know where I can go, to America.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take me.
Part 2 coming to America.
Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. That's where it gonna be. Man, look, we are at a crossroads right now, and people will have to open their eyes. They will have
Then click
get-
App Extension to continue.
and if they're not, we're gonna have some serious problems, man. We can't continue to go down this road the way we're going. We can't keep, as they say, kicking the can. It's just not going to happen. It's too much. It's too much. It's way too much. And I know older people are like, well, I don't have to worry about it. I've lived my life. And but you know, live some terrible life the rest of it. Because things are just not good. You know, they're not good. I watch city council all the time, and you should hear the things that are going on in city council. You got people down there complaining about homeless people downtown Chicago selling Snicker bars, and the whole family run up on you and say, hey, give me money, you know. And, you know, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? I mean, I'm sure the mayor sees all of this. He sees it from both ends. He goes downtown, he sees it. He live in the hood, right down the street from where we at right now. So, I mean, we see it. I know my wife made a comment. She said, he needs to go around the city and look at what's going on. I said, he live right in the middle of it. He been living in it. Here he got to go. Where he going to go? If he go to the other place in the city, he going to see the better living. Because he lives right in the middle of, okay, he's not in the worst part of Austin, but he's close to it. All he got to do is walk 2 blocks to the east. He on Central. And then he got everything happening on Central. He walks 2-3 blocks to the south. He's on Lake Street near Central. And that's the murder capital in Austin right there. Lake and Central. He goes to Austin. Yeah, it might be a little bit better because Oak Park's right there a little bit, but problems and things happen on the Chicago side there. So, one block to Chicago Avenue? We don't even have to say what Chicago Avenue's doing. Chicago Avenue's got problems from Austin all the way down to the Gold Coast, to Michigan Avenue. So the man sees what's going on. But as DeAndre once said to the young people, what's the plan? Really, what's the plan?
So call us out there. What's your feedback on this topic? Jacob, Tiny, Miss Houston, there's Miss Houston out there.
Hello, Houston. What's your feedback on this topic? Because I know you got it.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know. I'm undecided right now. Give me a minute. I'll regroup.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a minute too.
Well, let me see. Let me think about this one. Let's see here. Well, y'all gotta regroup. But while you regrouping, think about what really is affecting you now. Is it the cost of living? Is it the creation of more crime? Is it the situation where you can barely pay your taxes? Is it the situation of the degradation and the demise of what's going on in the educational system in the local areas? We got to think about this stuff.
Well,
But you know what? It's not none of those that bother me because I've always had to struggle to make ends meet and ride from Peter to pay Paul. So I'm used to that. What bothers me the most is the lack of civility among people. There's no courtesy. There's no love for the human beings. There's nothing. It's just like we're savages now. Politics is so savage. There's no, I don't know, no human spirit. That's what bothers me. That's the evil.
It's us against them.
Right.
yeah.
Right. There's no
And
unity.
I think that I think that it's the breakdown in the family. Like it all begins in the home. It used to be a mother, a father, and then they had rules for the kids. And then when the kids went out, they knew how to act. And I think that the way the family is, no father there, it's no rules in the house anymore. And so they come out in the streets unruly. I think
Well,
it's the breakdown of the family.
you're definitely right about that. It's a breakdown, but you got to realize if you had a strong family and the kids get around the ones that ain't got had a breakdown, guess what's gonna happen to those kids? They gonna pick up the same habits. They gonna run the football just like they run the ball. Unless they just stay away from them. You gotta keep your kids away from all the ones that ain't doing the right thing. And that means don't let them go outside for nothing. And don't let them have a phone. Don't let them watch TV. And don't let them get on the computer. You got to be Amish. They got to look like you, Tiny, the black Amish, man.
But
Okay.
why does it appear to be only black people? There's bad white people. There's unruly white kids. There's gangster white kids. So why are we focusing only on the black, which make us look even worse? Why don't they focus on some of the white, dysfunctional white people?
Because they ain't the ones that's affecting us. It's the donuts in the donut box, not the coffee.
Yeah.
part of the snack. But believe me, yeah, we can get to them too, but we always look at our issues based on our issues, How do we solve our own issues? Now don't get me wrong, you're absolutely right. If you was in the Deep South, the minute the white man start talking about lynching black folks, whoa, wait a minute, we got to stop this. We got to go after them. We got to figure out who they are.
Now you remember the latest humanitarian crisis with the Haitian people.
Yeah.
And I was watching Face the Nation. Gentleman down on the border gave a report that there are individuals arriving to the southern border from 150 countries. 150 countries.
Really?
So when you think about later on listening to the program, they just talking about the Haiti humanitarian crisis. So, when is enough? And in some instances, can this all be dealt with from a budgetary standpoint, or will it take laws and legislation to deal with it, or a combination of all the above?
Right.
I just don't have the answer, but I know somewhere it's got to make sense that you got to deal with money, legislation, and then, whatever else.
Well,
So once they're here, then whatever it costs for our people domestically who have these problems, and we ask and requested resources to deal with mental or educational or criminal or housing, or you name it. There's always an amount of money that's being demanded or requested legislative wise. So that's one thing. Now with these other compounded concerns, an outbreak of measles.
Yeah,
So
they've said much about that. That there's been more cases every day of measles.
and it's throughout the country.
Really.
Just so happens with us here locally with that migrant shelter on Halston. A lot of that from the exposure there. But it was already spread. Pennsylvania, New York, almost like the COVID.
Yeah, but measles is it's a little rough. I mean, COVID is bad. But
Measles is highly contagious.
oh yeah.
And it's two of the ones cases was from that exposure from the mic.
Of course, that's why they said they found the first few cases. How many cases are they up to now?
18, I last heard.
And that's 18, and that's only been a week.
Yeah.
So that means it's probably 10 times that amount, really, that's out.
Well, they put them in most hotel, and the people stay in the home.
Right.
I thought that when they let them in here, they check for immunizations or medical problems or whatever. They don't do that. They just let them walk through without even checking anything.
Well, you won't be able to tell if you've already been infected, if already in your system, and you just are not showing the the rash or anything yet. You can have it without them knowing. But the thing is, this country, United States, we had that mandatory vaccinations for everybody. So we all, heck, they'll tell you to come to the gym and just line you up and start giving you shots for everything. And other countries, they don't have mandatory vaccinations. People don't have to get vaccinated. So
Well, they should have a place there when they come in. They give them no shots.
Well, wait a minute.
In New York, I read something, I can't recall that brought up what I read. They have a law there where they can mandatorily vaccinate you.
Right.
That you present a problem for the public.
So let me be clear here.
I think it's 117 law.
Let me be clear. So we were all made to be vaccinated throughout our childhood to protect the country, to protect the people, to protect yourselves, right, and the kids. So now we just got this open door thing that says we don't care what you are. We don't even care if you got COVID or whatever. Just come on with it, and we'll worry about that later. Is that what's going on? Because I'm hoping there is a process and a procedure once you let people in, because that's the whole point of immigration. When you migrate to a country and they take you in on a visa or they take you in through the right process, they make sure you have all of those things in place. You got to have your vaccination. You got to have your records of history of criminal background. You got to be checked and vetted. That's the people that they let, I don't know how many thousand they let in through that process where you get a letter and they let you in a year. I'm sure it's over 10,000, probably 100,000 of those a year. So what's going on where we got 100,000 that just got to do that coming from the four corners of the world, and then we got 100 million coming in through the border, and they got to do none of that?
But that would be with the consideration that the paperwork they're presenting to you upon interest of the United States, that's verified.
But you can verify it. If you applied for citizenship See, I'm coming from, let's just say, Italy. We coming from Italy, the whitest of the white. Let's just say that. And I have to send in my visa and passport information and do an application to show my history of yeah. When you're flying to come to America, you have to do these things. And then
Yeah,
there's a person that's
you got to think about all the people that come into this country that are undocumented. You got to do all those things when you're doing it the right way, when you are documented. But if you're not, we got zillions of people over here that are not even documented. You don't even know anything about them, and they moving all around everybody.
So you're telling me they're not doing none of these things, or not even a fraction of these things?
Evidently not. If we got the measles outbreak, evidently somebody's not doing their job.
Wait a minute, DeAndre. What you going for a PhD for? What I go for a master's for? Why are we even trying to figure out how to be a part of this fabric of America or this system when all we got to do is get a gun? And we could just do what we want to do. Run rampant and get what we can, take what we can, and make it happen how we want to. We ain't got to do it. Why are we following processes and procedures?
Man, this is what y'all voted for, man. What are y'all talking about? Y'all talking about, y'all voted for this for the federal government, man. All the people that y'all put in Congress as well as the president had a decision to make, and they said this was okay. Why are we arguing about this?
Because it's not okay.
Because there's a certain amount of civility. There's a certain amount of caring that we all should have. We should not just care for our household, but the entire America. Now, I don't know what you mean by we put them in, or this is what we vote for. You got to explain that to me.
Well, so the Congress folks that we voted in, and when I say we, I mean we voted, so we made the decision. They had a choice whether they wanted to close the border or not. They did not want to close the border. In fact, they opened it up. This is what we voted for. And if you vote whether you vote or you don't. So for those that did not vote, they wanted this. For those that did vote because they voted a certain way, you wanted this. The question becomes, how do you hold these folks that did it accountable if you're going to vote for the same people anyway? We're not informed enough to really understand. So there's no point of breaking down why we are the reason behind this, because nobody gives a damn. You're going to vote the way you're going to vote anyway. I got to tell you, they're Democrats.
Well, maybe we did not vote for them because of immigration. Maybe they had something else that we wanted other than the immigration. Maybe immigration wasn't high on our list. That's why. You know, a lot of us are not familiar with how the immigration works.
Wait. I'm gonna give you a little logistics here. Well, I don't know if DeAndre realized the people that had the House were the Republicans. So they could have done anything they wanted to. They could have stopped everything at the border because they control the House and they control the Senate.
But they did. So DeAndre needs to rephrase that.
Well, so who voted the Republicans in?
I think anyway, everything, I think we've talked about this before, everything is by design. So regardless of how we vote, to be honest, they already got it set up the way they want it to go.
Well, let me just throw this in there. Under Trump and under Biden or Obama, those years that either party was
But can I say something?
Our sound went out. Can you all hear me?
You're on mute, Brother Steve. Mr. Art is on mute.
If I get it, I'm gonna be happy. And if I get 1 million subscribers on YouTube, I'm gonna do 100 more.
Steve,
I sent him a text. Maybe he'll look at it.
Okay.
Maybe they'll look at it.
It's a little off topic, but I hear you have an interesting nickname for almost everything in your house, including the
Nope.
Here, y'all. Go ahead. There you go.
Okay.
We back. We back.
Steve,
Yes.
okay, this is Jacob. You know, this that was on the ballot about bringing Chicago home, you know, they need to revisit that again because my understanding, they want money to get money for the homeless, us to get money. That's our ordinance that we're trying to get money for the homeless. Whereas, why do we have to try to do an ordinance to get money for the homeless when we should already have that because they made arrangements or made it possible for these people to have money for homes and whatever when they got here. You follow what I'm saying?
Because they playing in our face, man. That's why. Because these people still playing with us. Now, and to your point, no, but seriously though, I think that is one of the worst examples to show the American people that you care about them is bringing in people from another country and being able to utilize our tax dollars to pay for that.
Yes.
Nobody feels good about that if you're an American person. I understand that we are all pro-human and we want to make sure that anybody that is here is well taken care of, but it is a slap in the face to be able to find money to take care of other people before
that's what I'm talking about.
I don't care how you feel about it. That's wrong. Now look,
it is.
To the point of the Republicans in doing something with the House. This is a 2023 May 11th Reuters article in which the headline says U.S. House passes Republican bill tightening border security. Now let me just read a couple paragraphs for you, maybe the whole thing if I need to. It said, in Washington, May 11th, 2023, the U.S. House of Representatives on Thursday approved Republican legislation intended to stop immigrants and illegal drugs crossing the nation's southwest border with Mexico, leaving it to the Senate to attempt a broader bipartisan immigration bill. The package, which Democrats have warned will be blocked in the Senate, would set tight limits on asylum seekers and require them to apply for U.S. protection outside the country. It would also resume construction of a wall along the border and expand federal law enforcement efforts. The House voted 219 to 213 to pass the bill, with no Democrats in favor and one Republican opposed. The key component of this bill is where we say, if you come to our country, you will get to, according to the law, file your asylum claim, but you will be detained or you will be returned while your claim is adjudicated, said House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan during debate on the bill. The vote occurred in anticipation of the Thursday midnight expiration of the Title 42 immigration restriction that began under President Donald Trump in 2020 at the start of COVID-19 pandemic. It has allowed U.S. authorities to expel migrants to Mexico without the chance to seek asylum, citing health concerns. Officials at the southwestern border were seeing large influxes of immigrants in the final days of Title 42 expiration. My Republican colleagues are trying to take us back to the failed, illegal, and immoral policies of the Trump administration, said Representative Gerald Nadler, the senior Democrat on the Judiciary panel. This bill serves as a wholesale ban on asylum. No one would be able to seek asylum in the United States if they crossed between ports of entry or if they had or could have even temporary status in a third country. while the House bill is not expected to get President Joe Biden's desk for signing into law, there are hopes in the Senate that it will spark negotiations for a bipartisan, comprehensive border security and immigration reform measure in the coming months. Independent Senator Christian Sinema told reporters hours before the House vote that the Republican bill will open the way to shaping a final package to address not only border security, but also reform to the U.S. asylum system and the manner in which visas are doled out. I mean, I could keep going, but I mean, y'all tell me, because clearly, the U.S. House was Republican-led, put a bill out there, and the Democrats turned it down. So again, you get what you vote.
Okay, but wait, I'm missing something. Republican can do what they want to do since they own the House, okay? So why didn't they just push the bill through if it was all that great and they wanted it? So
No.
I'm missing
That's
something.
not the way this democracy works. No, it don't work like that.
They had the majority rules.
No, it don't work like that, because as I read, the House passed it, but it also has to go past the Senate. We have two forms of government for a reason. They are a check and balance. If one party had all of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, they can get whatever they want passed. But because
why is it the Republican has control over certain things and only certain things, but don't have control over that? That's screwy to me. Something's not right.
Well, no. So now what you raised right here is the reason why we need to get educated in politics. This is a form. The way it works is it is a check and balance. You have two houses for a reason: the Senate and you have the Congress. Those are separate entities so that power does not go unchecked, as well as that the president himself or herself does not have absolute power of the country. So it don't matter who is in power if the other party has, because you have to have a bipartisan relationship. The only way things get passed is if both houses agree that this should get passed. That's just the way it works. We got to be educated on this.
But I think what Ella's saying is she thought that the Republicans had the majority vote in both the Senate and in the Congress, or the Republicans.
Right.
No. The Democrats hold the Senate and the Republicans hold the House right now.
And also got to figure the judicial, because if they rule that is unconstitutional,
right,
regardless of all the legislative agreeing, which will include both parties, then judicial will say, no, that's unconstitutional.
And he's saying is the Supreme Court, which used to be nonpartisan. So how in the heck did the Supreme Court become partisan?
Because what happened was Obama was on the way out. He had an opportunity to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg with who he wanted. He said, "I'm not going to do that because that's not the way it should be done. A sitting president should do it." He had an opportunity to do it. He didn't take it. So Trump took it, put who he wanted in there. Yeah, come on, we got to follow politics.
That's half of what happened. The other half was the Speaker of the House at the time, which was McConnell, said, you are lame duck. We ain't gonna even put this procedure in place. So go keep shot.
But when we talk about authority, he could have did it, because Trump did a lot of things with his own presidential authority.
Yeah, but you need the House to vote on it. So how could
I don't care what y'all talking about. Look, I understand. You want to be clean, you want to look good, you want to keep it. You know what I mean? You want to do things right and true. But you know what? We ain't got time for that. Put that person on through it, because I said executive order. Sometimes you got to do that. You got to grab your balls and start.
No, I don't think you can do an executive order on placing your pick for Supreme Court. I have to go through the procedures. They've always gone through the procedures. Even with Clarence Thomas. Uncle Thomas got in there. through the procedure.
Mhm.
So I think, yeah, that would be good if you could do an executive order, but again, you know, we're talking about Barack Obama, the Kumbaya president. That was, you know, I'm not just the president for black people. I'm the president for all America and Kenya, or whoever else, you know.
Well, I will say this. Obama had 60 Democratic senators when he went in the first term. 60.
Mhm.
They had full for the 2 years.
Mhm.
Congress,
Mhm.
the Senate,
Mhm.
the House and the Senate, and the presidency.
Mhm.
As well as when Trump had 2 years where they had the House of Representatives and the Senate, and he was president. So both parties have shown, I wouldn't say use words from negligence, but they had the authority.
They had the authority, yeah, right. It just didn't execute.
That's right.
So I'm saying, I think, when you picking a leader, you gotta have a person that's a visionary as well, that could see what's to come. But to somebody earlier, plan shit all a plan, man. Sometimes you just gotta just understand what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, are we supposed to just go for the okie doke, as they say? I mean, people all over the world are revolting, man, for various reasons, but you know, there's a point where people have to really say, you know, is this where we're at? This is what we want, and this is what we're willing to receive.
Take it from there, huh?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, let me tell you something, Steve. Blacks been voting the same way for the past umpteen years. Black people love the okie doke. They love it. You feel me? And when you try to go tell them that you being okie doke, guess what? They still don't believe it. They still don't want to hit you.
Oh, did you vote? Did you vote this last week?
Did
you vote?
Well, hold on.
All this talking, and you ain't got nothing to back it up. You did not vote.
Yeah, but you know what?
Suspicious to me.
Y'all
That's
vote for
very
people who
suspicious.
don't do nothing for you.
It don't matter. You didn't even
that's
vote.
Why the migrants is being put over y'all.
You did not even vote,
And
so
that's
it
why the
does
migrants
not matter.
You voted for
didn't
Brandon
voice
Johnson, and he put the migrants over you.
You did not voice your opinion by voting, so it does not matter what you say because
I voted
you
for my
did
couch.
not do it.
I voted for my couch. My couch been winning. I voted for my couch.
Stop interjecting and putting all of this
I was already speaking, man.
Stop
But
it.
again, black people, y'all vote Democrat, y'all vote the same way, and they don't do nothing for you, and they use you.
Well,
and then
at
you
least
want to
we
sit
vote.
up there. You want to sit up there and
vote.
cry, and that's why Brandon Johnson don't listen to nothing y'all got to say. And I don't blame that brother. He shouldn't listen to y'all.
Well, you need to vote. You need to vote. Voice your choice.
What she's trying to
say,
Voice
your choice. It's too suspicious.
That's what she's trying to tell you.
You got my support. There's nobody to vote for, Steve. There is nobody to who?
You're Republican. You claim you're Republican, so vote for some Republican. Just
I'm
vote.
voting for Trump.
Okay, he Republican, isn't he?
Just vote. That's who I'm voting for, Trump.
No, you ain't voting because you ain't even registered. So
who
stop
it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh.
Oh. You know, my grandma always tell me, don't chase a lie. My grandma told me, don't chase a lie. It's okay.
You can call it a lie, whatever you want, but until you vote, you can't say nothing to me.
Oh, yes, we can. Oh, yes,
I'm not
listening.
We can. I'm not listening.
Malcolm X couldn't vote. You listen to him?
He dead now, ain't he?
Malcolm X couldn't vote. You listen to him?
He ain't here no more. We can't live off of that.
Oh,
we
yes,
remember,
we can.
But we don't live off of it.
This is what we're gonna do, Mosaic. Well, no, he said he won't vote for Trump, and I told him before I will take him personally to help him fill out his voter's registration card.
I already got my voter registration card, but you know one thing?
Some
Do
applaud over
not
there.
vote Democrat. You hurt the black community. All y'all who vote Democrat, you hurt us. Lyndon B. Johnson, Steve, you said it. I'm a blue blood Democrat. You know why? Because Lyndon B. Johnson made it for you to. You're not a Democrat on your own. Lyndon B. Johnson put it in play so you could be a Democrat. That's why you're a Democrat. You being tricked.
They said Lyndon B. Johnson said, I'm gonna have these niggas voting Democrat for 200 years. Hard ER too. They said that he the one who signed that he the one that signed the Civil Rights Act for. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. And that's what he said.
Now, that's a good thing though.
That's what he
That we
said.
had a Civil Rights Act. I mean, do you all not agree that is a good thing? We had an act that was put in place to give us our civil rights. And it not just gave us civil rights. Who came right behind us? Who came right behind us when they said we ain't getting our justice?
But I think the bigger point is, okay, so here's the deal, right? So we cool as a people with somebody giving us just due, but also calling us a nigga at the same time.
Controller is tweaking, y'all.
It says, so for example, it says Lyndon Johnson said the word nigger a lot. In Senate cloakrooms and staff meetings, Johnson was practically a connoisseur of the word.
Yeah.
According to the Johnson biographer, Robert Caro, Johnson would calibrate his pronunciation by region using nigra with some Southern legislation and negra with others. Discussing civil rights legislation with men like James Eastland, who committed most white supremacy.
It's strong.
He call it the nigger bill.
Well, I mean, we can't
Oh
fault.
my God. This my controller. What the fuck?
60 years ago, because 60 years ago, we didn't have anything we could say about anything.
What are you doing here?
You know? Oh, what's up? Girl sneaking in on the studio. Come on in. But no, I mean, come on now. We can't technically talk about how we felt 60 years ago when we didn't have any rights at all. So you got to work your way through the door. You can't sit there and punch the man in the mouth because he said nigger, nigger.
Right, but I think the larger point is we're so entrenched in an organization that has consistently shown that they've not cared about us. But when it comes to trying to get them elected or in position of power, they've always kowtowed to us in some way. I mean, again,
they always have not cared for black people. Black people don't care for black people. But what do? We take which one we hope and think will do right by us. We don't know what none of these politicians gonna do. We don't know what you're gonna do when you get in office. We hope and we pray that you will remember us and do something for us. Money and power change people. Okay? So, you know what Johnson did? He did one good thing before he left this earth. Okay? I was a kid then. So, I mean, it might be relevant, but I'm not living to hear it repeated again.
Right. Lyndon B. Johnson gave y'all welfare. Y'all took welfare and kicked y'all.
Oh, you was on welfare. Hush.
Like, come on now.
We
he
were
gave
all
y'all welfare.
My parents was on welfare. I don't have a problem with that because
that's the problem. You don't have a problem with welfare
because if welfare hadn't fed us, we'd be some hungry little people.
Well, you should have just been hungry at work.
Sure your mama got some welfare.
She probably did, but
we have to take what they give us until we can do better. It's a stepping stone.
What you think, Steve? What you think, Steve? You ever been on welfare, Steve?
It's a helper.
Steve, have you ever been on welfare?
Yeah.
Once we got better to do stuff ourselves.
And was you out here proud? I was on welfare, y'all.
Door outside.
Hell, I didn't have to say it. They all knew because all black folks was on welfare.
And white people was on welfare too.
Barry, was you on welfare?
Come on, man.
No, I mean,
now, you know what? If welfare would entitle me to feed my kids, get them medical care, hell, I'm going for it. Now it's a fool to sit up there and these benefits out there and you don't use them. White people use them all the time, like Tanya was saying. They use it all the time.
That's white people. We black. We ain't got to do what they do, sister.
I think the most
Hell, we ain't got to starve either. Our kids ain't got to be riddled with diseases and sicknesses either. They give me a medical card for my kids, I'm gonna use it. Now I'd be a fool not to use it.
I think
Trump don't take all that away from y'all.
Well, that's why you ain't gonna get in office.
Now, I just say, so we have clear examples of people using whether racist language or racist ideologies to come up with policies that are actually harmful to the community, but they did some good, so we're accepting of them. Now, one thing that I will always say, I prefer my racism overt and not covert. So if you're going to call me a nigga, call me to my face. So I agree with y'all in terms of how we associate ourselves with a particular group. But I'm just saying, why do we feel like another group that's full of the same people ain't got the same to offer for us, though?
You guys,
repeat that. I didn't understand that. Say that again.
So I'm saying, if the Democrats are Lyndon B. Johnson and Joe Biden, for example, Lyndon B. Johnson referred to us as niggas, but he gave us Thurgood Marshall and he gave us welfare and all this other stuff that potentially helped us along the way. Biden, for example, was the architect of the 92 crime bill that locked many of us up, but now he's the president and we feel just grateful that he's there. And I'm saying we've lashed ourselves to this one particular group who has shown to either speak it or have ideologies rooted in racism that actually does not further our cause, but they've given us trinkets. And then you go, but the other party is full of the same people, but you would rather just turn them down. I don't even want to listen to them when it's the same thing. And what you mean it ain't the same people?
I haven't seen a Republican do nothing for a black person yet. I haven't seen it. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I ain't seen a Republican do squat.
Saying nigga, and they coming up with policies that detrimental.
What do I care about them calling me a nigga?
With saying we don't want you in the Republican Party. They don't want you in the Republican Party.
I've never heard a Republican.
You ain't never seen one candidate come and get you. Just show me one Republican in the state.
That's a stronghold.
You go in the South.
But no. But we know that Illinois itself is a red state. Let's keep it a buck. This is a red state outside of Cook County and Chicago. Because we have the most population by county and by city, we made this effectively blue. Everything else is red. So ain't nobody from Naperville gonna come over here try to politic with us, knowing that this is a blue place. That's wasting your breath, your time, your money, your energy, and everything.
Okay. But what these red so-called patriots, they white hillbillies. They white trash. They are in the country eating squirrels and rabbits. They're not in the city. Most of them don't even have a high school education. So why you want to give them credit?
The problem is, Dre, this goes back to slavery. Black people was always happy when Massa gave them butter biscuits. This is the same thing. These people like their butter biscuits. Oh, Massa gave me something. He's a good person. See, and then when Steve just said, well, a Republican ain't never came and gave us nothing, you shouldn't want nothing. You shouldn't want nothing from somebody. Wait, hold on, wait a minute, hold on, sister. Hold on. Wait a minute. You shouldn't want something.
Double tongue. You're talking with a fourth tongue.
What you should want is good laws, good schools, good policies, good program, restoring the nation back to when it was at a better economic state, a better social state for everyone. That's what you should want.
Okay, but what you're saying is subjective. It's not
No,
objective.
it
It's
ain't.
a subject. It's according to how your worldview is. My worldview is not your worldview. What I
Right.
see
You want your
as
butter biscuits.
benefits is not what you see as benefits. See, you can take everybody and put them in the bag with your
Okay, so
worldview.
do you want a good economy?
Do I want a good what?
Economy.
I think I do. But what
Me
do I
too.
call a
Me
good
too. That's a
economy?
benefit.
I don't
That's a
want to
bit.
be rich.
A good economy is when you got a high buying power and the inflation rate is low. The inflation rate is 3% right now. So that's why when you go to the grocery store and you buy a pack of loaf of bread, some eggs, you can't buy the same amount that you did a couple of years ago because the inflation rate is so high. But under Trump, the economy was good and the inflation rate was low. So therefore, when you got your check, you was able to buy 4 packs of bacon, 4 packs of eggs, 4 loaves of bread, and you still have money left over. That's not the case right now. So
Well,
if
I
you
can't
want your
argue
kids
with
to
you
do,
on that because I need to go back and research. Now you trying to say like everything was so great under Trump,
it
but I
was.
beg
You
to
was
differ.
doing good too.
I beg to differ. Trump was riding off what Obama had in place. Trump did not go and pass no law. These
Obama
were
did
laws
nothing for you. Obama
put
never did
in
nothing
place
for you.
before he left. Before
Obama never
left,
did nothing
Trump
for
didn't
you.
wake up in the middle of the night and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this." No, he didn't. He ain't got that much brain power. So don't sit up here
Well, he
and
rich.
give him
He rich.
all.
Obama not.
Oh, you think he rich? We'll see.
Oh, I know he rich.
We will see.
My president is rich.
Better go and lend him some money because he just put out a big old thing where he wants people to pay $125,000 a plate for dinner, and only 2 people signed up for it. He got it, he got $250,000. But
yeah, his president is rich.
Well, he gonna be y'all president too, and y'all gonna have to bow down.
Well, I
it is what
truly
it
hope
is.
not. I truly hope not. But you ain't gonna have nothing to do with it because you ain't gonna vote no way.
Look,
I don't think you voted. I need proof.
We know
I can't give you no proof because I
on
tossed
here.
it.
See, there you go. I don't think nobody on here voted.
We know she voted because we seen her at the polls.
And you need to stop thinking if that's the way you thinking.
I seen her at the polls, bro. I'm out there, so I see who's voting.
Yeah, they just chilling. They ain't really voting.
I ain't voting, but I see them out there. I know one thing. I ain't even see your shadow. So,
Steve, you don't think there needs to be a change in black voting? You don't think there needs to be a change in how we vote?
I think we need better people. We need more people. We're gonna go with what we got until we can get something better.
I said this to someone. They were like, "Oh, we need to change," and then I'm like, "Well, what are the better choices?" They were like, "Well, this one's not good. This one's not." Well, then you need to go out there and build yourself a person or a candidate, and put that candidate in front. If you can't build yourself a candidate, then you become the candidate. And build and create it yourself. But people too lazy. So American people lazy. They just talk. Yeah. Ain't gonna do nothing about anything.
So look, here's something this is Newsweek. Newsweek, this is an article that was published in 2022. It says, this was written by a black man. It says, "We have been the Democratic Party's most loyal voting bloc since the 1960s. But in the years since then, many black people have come to the realization that our relationship with the Democrats is one that can be best described as abuse by neglect. People are ready for change. The question is, in a two-party system, is the other party smart enough to bring in black voters who currently feel politically homeless? There's historic precedent for realignment. Recall that after the Civil War, black Americans were loyal to the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln. But the GOP proceeded to abuse that relationship refusing to pursue civil rights. Black discontent rose, and the Great Migration brought many Black Americans to the North, where Northern Democrats were at least in a shallow way less averse to the cause of the Black community. Through President Roosevelt's New Deal, although President Roosevelt's New Deal had only limited provisions for Black Americans compared to white Americans, others in the Democratic Party saw an opportunity in the disaffection many Blacks had with Republicans. The Democrats were already the party of the white working class. If they could peel off a significant chunk of Black Americans, they could be the majority party in America for a generation. And that's what they did. It took time. Republicans still received 39 and 32% of the Black vote in the presidential elections of 1958 and 1960. Some of the most staunch supporters of segregation in the South were Democrats, which made the party repulsive to a lot of Black people. But when GOP nominee Barry Goldwater opposed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, that dealt a fatal blow to the party's relationship with Black people, and no Republican presidential candidate has gotten more than 15% of the Black vote since. All we saying is we have reached another crossroads in Black American politics where we are being neglected once again. Our needs are being met, and I don't think that we should continue to at least say, yeah, we're going to get what we're looking for from this party, because there's precedent that shows that we made a decision when we wasn't getting what we want. All I'm saying, let's just be open to fighting for what you want for real. Because you're not fighting for real if you just blindly saying, I'm going to them.
No, that's not what you're saying. I get it very strongly what you're saying. And I understand why you're saying it. But the lesser of which evil, the one that I'm hoping will do something for me versus the one I know ain't going to do a doggone thing for me because I'm not rich enough. Now, which one would you vote for? On hope or one you know definitely ain't going to do nothing for you? All this talk about how the economy was when Trump had it and all this other stuff, that don't mean nothing to me because he's already showed us what he is. There's gonna be a bloodbath if he don't win the presidency.
That's what he said. He said it.
Yep. There's a man who is embracing violence. He's sparing it alone. He's giving them the okay to kill us. All of these white extremists, he's telling them it's okay. I'm going to give you the power to do it. And that's when January 6th happened. He gave them the power. He gave them the okay to do it. And those fools did.
Okay. So, and I'm only saying this for clarity. I actually don't like Trump nor Biden in this particular election. So there's that. But what he said was, while speaking about the potential loss of the U.S. auto manufacturing jobs to foreign countries.
Stop it. You know, doggone well, that wasn't what that man meant. Don't be giving us all that espionage, that sabotage and stuff. We know what he meant. We know exactly what he meant. And it's in black and white. He said it, and I saw it.
He said it. He said it. One time in the game, he was real. He said it.
Don't sugarcoat his words to try to turn it out like you. That
no,
green
I'm reading what he said.
Oh, no.
Wait, now I heard what he said. He said it.
Okay, so y'all mean to tell? He said that Biden's policies will create an economic bloodbath for the auto industry.
No, he didn't say that.
All this yellow journalism from. That's yellow journalism. Where you getting all that stuff from? I was watching him on TV when he said it. Don't come up here with all that propaganda. That's propaganda.
So when did he say it? Tell me when
I
he
can't
said
tell you the date. All I know is
It was,
that I was watching TV.
it was 2 Sundays ago. It was 2 Sundays ago. He said,
Right.
if I don't win the election, it will be a bloodbath.
Exactly.
Hold on, see, I'm
So
gonna
I
pull
don't
up
know
the
what kind
I
of
saw him.
propaganda.
I
I
saw
don't know
him
where
stand
you
there
getting
and
that
say it.
propaganda from.
Oh,
That ain't nothing but propaganda.
Not going.
Oh my God.
Stop trying to sway us because it ain't gonna happen because I saw him.
No, really not though. He
Yeah,
really
that's
said.
I'm a witness. He said that on TV. I saw it.
No, he
I heard
yeah. No, he said it, but I'm just saying the
Don't be
context.
trying to say what you thought he meant because he said what he
No,
said.
no, no, I'm not telling you what I think he meant. I'm telling you because I actually watched the clip. He was
No,
talking
you did
about.
not. You couldn't have watched it. You couldn't have watched it.
No, no.
Don't
No,
try
you
to
couldn't have
justify
watched
it, Andre. Don't try to justify it.
Right.
I'm telling you,
Because you couldn't have watched that.
Yo, could
I'm
we
telling you about
hear though what was said though before y'all cut the man off? We need to hear what he said. I want to hear. I want context.
I don't want to hear it.
I need to hear it. You've been
Okay.
talking. We heard you talking. I want to know what he said about Trump.
Come out. Hold on. Here you go, right here.
Go ahead. I'm going to listen to that propaganda.
Tell you right here. Go right here. This is exactly what he said, verbatim.
Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal. Those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those guns. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
Okay.
This election.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he.
So hold on. All right. So after now, me personally, after hearing that in the context, it sounds as though exactly to what everybody's arguing about, Americans getting work. He's telling those people, those foreign entities, that if you have business on American soil, we're gonna tax you so much if you don't have America workers working there. So I mean, I don't understand why, when they say it'll be a bloodbath, you're not putting that with the automotive industry and in terms of business. Like that had no context to say he was saying that if I'm not elected, it'll be a bloodbath. Like people start like hawking people down in the middle of the street. Like it didn't come off as that.
Because we know who we're dealing with. We're dealing with a stark raving maniac. This man called for the head of his vice president because he wouldn't stop the doggone election from going his way. So we're talking about an idiot, a stark raving maniac. So
okay, hold on. Let's save all the pleasantries for the president elect, because at the end of the day, what all I heard was if stuff like that, that's where we need to come in and start being more enterprising, as opposed to looking at who's in office. Like DeAndre was saying, it really doesn't matter because it's all what they call the overplay for the underlay. Like America boiled down to the smallest microbiome is based upon a corporation, the United States of America Incorporated. So when we talk about the rights of people and when someone runs a company, they never care about the rights of the people, because when you're done with said company, at first they used to give you a pension. They took that away from you now. America is now feeding us plastic food. So, when you get into the whole, let's go back and forth on who we're gonna debate this with, you got to look for what it is. It's America, and for lack of better terms, you're stuck with what you have. Even if I believe now, maybe the whole voting thing is our problem, but you know, this is where we're at in America. Like, we need to speak to that. You know, when are you guys gonna start having podcasts that's based upon enterprise, that's based upon what can we do about all these vacant lots? Can we take the people that's on and start a campaign to put our money together and start looking forward to some of these things down the line? The interest rate is coming down. You know what that means? A lot of homes in the neighborhood that when people had those floods they can't afford, the interest rates is gonna go down. Like, there's so many opportunities going on right now we're not noticing because we're busy arguing over what color white man gonna get on when they all serve the same purpose, which is the United States of America Incorporated. They never gonna serve black people, and they don't even serve white people. They just serve the money, which is why you got so many billionaires that's out here that can really run up. They running up the tab. Unfortunately, we're the ones paying the tab because we keep shopping with them.
So I have a lot. So what you suggest that I can do with this lot, since I'm paying high taxes? What you suggest I can do?
You currently have a lot right now, or you talking about your home being on the lot?
No. I have a lot.
Okay, okay. Listen. I like that. Now, what you could do is, because we know for a fact that EVs are coming up. I think if it's Arnold or Tiny, I know one of these guys be talking about pushing into the electric field. How about starting to look at your lot as an area where they could develop to have people come and charge their EVs at?
Yeah, and we're looking into charging stations.
There you go. Now again, this is how we need to come together as a community and build. You know, we could talk about who's gonna, like I said, man. But yeah, that's what I think you could do with your lot. If you got a lot and you need something to do with it, partner with Tiny and see what they can use. Because one thing I do see is that the current president, Biden, he signed the infrastructure bill. This infrastructure bill is going to be used for EVs, just a small part of it. But what that tells me is that EVs are coming, whether we want them to or not, and they're gonna need such a large power grid, and they're gonna need places to charge. If you have a lot or anything, you need to let it be known, hey, I got a place they can use to charge. Come on, they can you cut it up, get the electric company out there, see if they can do something with it, and man, come on, man, let's get it.
Hey, you talk to the right person, because Tiny got a BMW that's electric.
Yep. Tiny? Tiny, come on with it. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I got the connections to the solar enterprises. I'm actually a community member. We've been in discussion about purchasing lots and actually putting EVs and even solar panels on them. So, charging stations. So I've been working with him, trying to figure out what that looks like. So
maybe we all can get together and work it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're right. You're gonna need them in the neighborhood. I'm just trying to figure out how we are. We steal electricity when we ain't got nothing in our house. So they're gonna be stealing it from the electric grid.
Talk about that. When we tried to come around and put energy efficiency bulbs on people's porch, they ain't even want to keep the light on. I can imagine how people feel about putting a charging station on their property. How much this gonna go up? What they gonna cost? Well, y'all ain't trying to make no money for real, man. Y'all filmed this show last time. Y'all hate being a millionaire.
But you guys know, yesterday, Hispanic guy came to me. It's 2 lots on my block, other than my lot. He asked me about these lots. He wants to buy up all these lots on this block here.
What block you live on? I'll be interested in buying a lot. I don't know what I would do with it other than just hold it for now, but I'll be interested in because one of the things is when these things are available, we have to take action on them. Too many times we letting them go. So DeAndre can get your blocks information and we can go through that and see what we can see because I know they building up the Austin community. We have to think about 2 years, 3 years down the line and what these areas can be, and then we prepare for those. That's how we, make a change in our neighborhood. So yeah, I'll be interested in looking at one.
Well, okay, DeAndre know, and I'll give him the information because these Hispanics, they coming through, man. They grabbing everything that's open.
Ain't playing. You're gonna see some tiny homes on. That's what you're gonna see in a minute. You're gonna see them Amazon selling homes for $25,000, like $20,000. You're gonna see Amazon tiny homes on them lots. It's a whole fully packaged home. That's what you're gonna see on.
City council is coming up with an ordinance that prohibits building in homes.
What home?
So one build down there in the 34th ward.
One of them?
A prototype. They build about the size of this area right here for the homes.
Oh.
And they stopped the building department. So, there's no.
Yeah, they're little cubicles, that's all. But I thought you were talking about tiny homes. Tiny homes are different.
Yeah,
tiny homes, they have the right infrastructure in them. They have plumbing, they have electrical. It's all done to code. It's just a smaller property. But you're talking about these little prefab little shelters that you can knock them down and pick them back up type of things. Yeah, no. Well, I'm gonna tell you, we have kind of jumped into a very interesting subject, and that's where do we go as a community? I mean, things are changing every day, every minute in our neighborhoods. Ms. Jacobs just said, Hispanics are moving in. They want to buy the lot. I can almost guarantee you, if they buy the lot, they're going to develop and build a property on it.
Yeah.
And,
all around.
You see it everywhere, but I don't understand how these properties are passed through code because many of them, first of all, they don't even meet the aesthetics of the surrounding buildings and properties. There's one that went for $600,000, just one block north of us and 2 blocks west of us, and it doesn't have a brick. It doesn't have a brick anywhere on it. Facades,
and they're not considered concrete. So, but here's the deal: they have a certain price range that they're selling from, and to get matching subsidized to the builder, that's what they're doing.
Well, again, how are these properties? How are they letting them pass? I mean, somehow they have to be signed off on by the zoning department and the building department and all of that. And the alderman. There you go.
Raise the value of the properties on that block. So if they're brick construction, the minimum you want to require demand is that
they put some on the front, at least.
They be brick.
Right. I mean, at least the front. And if you're a corner property, you want the front and the side that's exposed. I mean, you go in Lincoln Park, you go in other parts of the city, they have ordinances that say you can't come in here and do them to make it look like what you want it to make it look like.
That's what the housing stock is surrounded.
Well, all I know is that we are letting too much just go by. Another thing, did we talk about the cars? Hispanic family moves in, it's a 2-flat building. There's only 3 bedrooms in the whole property. Let's say 4 bedrooms in the whole property. All of a sudden, you got 8 cars in a house that only has 4 bedrooms. A property that has 4 bedrooms. I'm like, the baby got a car before the baby was born. I'm like, what we doing? You can't even park on the floor. I saw this coming. People have been coming to the organization 2017 complaining up where you live, DeAndre, Luna, just 18, 16, 1700. We can't park over here because I'm like, what are you talking about? And they started to explain, and I said, oh wow, is that what's going on? You get a family of a single family home, and all of a sudden one single family home has 6 cars to it. I'm like, are we talking about the Playboy Mansion or something? But for some reason, everybody got to have a car. The dog got a car. The baby got a car. Like, what we doing?
But that's on every block. That's on every block now.
Well,
you can, by referendum, each ward can have a referendum as it pertains to precinct. And so that's something that the people in that ward or precinct can get on the ballot to move their alderman or elected official toward whatever the people demand.
Well, I think people are demanding that they can get parked. And the other thing is, they just leave a car. They'll leave a car just sitting out there to hold a spot. You know, literally. It's going to be a bigger mess than it is. You know, people running into these issues every day. But let's talk about one thing. Let's talk about Congressman Danny K. Davis and his victory. Did we talk about that? Anybody?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we need to touch base on that. Let's go into the whole campaign. We started the campaign out, and all of a sudden, everybody came out of the woodworks. They want to run against the incumbent Congressman Danny K. Davis that has been in Congress 26 years at the time? 13 terms? 13?
Yeah, 26 years.
26 years. So they feel that, oh, he's too old. Oh, he doesn't have his faculties. Oh, he doesn't have his strength. The man ain't done nothing. And I always ask people, what do you think he's done if he hasn't done anything? Can you name anything that you think he's done? And if you can't, what do you think you would like to see from him? And most often people can't say because they just go with the rhetoric of he's old. I had an individual tell me, because I was out at the polls, I was one of the poll watchers, and I had guys out there passing listen. The individual literally said, yeah, I'm voting against Danny because I'm 52 and I can barely think. I'm decrepit. And I can imagine he's 82, how decrepit he is. And I said, yeah, you're right. You all effed up. That's you. You seriously are. But you can't put that on somebody else because you didn't take care of yourself properly through your years. You can't do that. Well, I know one thing for certain. I looked it up. He's 82. And maybe you'll be 82 in another 3 years if you don't get your decrepit self fixed up. But you can't put that on anybody else. And I went on to say, again, if you don't think he's the best choice, who's the best choice? Well, I'm going to go with the person that's being indicted. Really? Okay. That's what you want to do. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. You decrepit, brain is messed up too. All right. You can have that.
I would like to say 2 things about Danny. I was in the back to school parade, and I drove, and he walked all the way. And when I got to the end, he was up on the platform speaking. So
there you go.
Yeah.
I got all kind of energy. And
I walked the parade one year, and by the time I got to the end of it, my legs felt like rubber.
Okay. Right.
That's how many miles is that, DeAndre? 3 miles?
Where we started at? We started 1900. Was it 1900 Central?
Yeah.
The Roosevelt.
1700.
17. All right, so let's just say. So let's just.
Then it goes all the way down to Laramie.
16 to
about 3.5.
Let's say 4 miles.
Madison is 2.
Yeah, and then it shoots down to Laramie, then it back down to Jackson, and then back over. So you got to double that. That's a mile right there.
That's
yeah.
So Roosevelt will be
we'll give it 3. We'll give it 3.
That's 4. No,
that's 4 miles. Okay, 4 miles.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I walked
4.25 miles. 4.25 miles.
A couple times, or once at least. Legs felt like rubber bands, man. But hey, Congressman Davis, people keep voting for him, and they want him in there. So be it. You know what?
Let me say this. You know, if you ever in a room with Danny and somebody bring up somebody's name, he know that person. He have personal relationships with just about everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
I know that's the truth.
Yeah, and he has a good memory because I met Danny back in '78, and he still know who I am.
Yeah, he has a good memory, for sure.
Nah,
and that's like 40-something years ago.
No, I don't think anybody got the smarts or the knowledge to even try. I don't see why they was even putting their name out there for anybody to vote for them, because they don't have it. They don't have what it takes.
And the number one thing is in Congress is an old man game. It's based on seniority. You know, if these people come in, they're not gonna take Danny's spot. They're gonna be 400 and something, and they're not gonna be on the Ways and Means Committee. They're gonna be on the Agriculture Committee or something like that. So we be giving up the little power we got.
But it's okay, you know, as much as I want the congressman to win as well, it is okay, especially if they're a black person and they trying to get in office too. It's okay. Competition is good. That's what make him good. So we shouldn't say that no one should run because they're gonna lose. Well, they got a good chance of losing because they want to get a veteran. But we should always give another black brother or black sister a chance. Just a chance of running for that position as well. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And the congressman will tell you himself, ain't nothing wrong with competition. He'll tell you.
But you don't put a thoroughbred next to a goldfish. You just don't do that.
Why not?
Because the goldfish ain't gonna even get out the water. So the point is,
but that's okay though.
No, it's not.
It's okay.
When a person got criminal background and they got issues, they're already on the bubble with the inspector general. Why would you even waste your vote on that person? It's like, again, I don't even need to go to your favorite man, the D man, but that dude got 81 counts. And I know
and he innocent. He innocent. He ain't been charged. Everybody said he was colluding with Russia, but guess who it was? It was Joe Biden and Joe Biden's son the whole time. We ain't gonna talk about that one though.
Let me tell you something. Donald Trump can't even spell collusion. So
come on now.
Donald Trump, every one of the people that worked for him went to prison. That dude had, I mean, why would you want to be standing next to that guy? That's the guy that's just gonna bring you eventually down.
He's gonna bring you money. He's gonna bring you money.
Well, I mean, if money is the only thing that makes you happy in life, I guess.
Oh yeah, everybody. That's what everybody. Listen, if you in politics, and you don't gotta be a politician to be in politics, you're in it for the money. You in it for the money. Every 501c, every church. You're in it with the money and you're shaking hands to get you a couple of dollars. Come on now, Steve.
Some people, they feel they're doing it to help people.
Ain't nobody helping nobody for free, Steve. Ain't nobody helping nobody for free.
I am.
And you ain't getting no Duncan system? Oh no.
No, I'm not.
Drake, well, my brother's a business site. He gonna tell you need to get paid for your services. I respect what you're doing, but you should be paid. Don't do nothing for free.
Well, I'm out here and nobody paying me. I'm out here
Yeah.
trying to help our people.
Oh no, I wouldn't do it. I need money. You got bills.
Yes,
You got
I do.
bills.
Yes, I do.
Come on, man.
But you gotta be clever with how you spend your money. That's the key. So you gotta do the right things, you know. Hey, sometimes it ain't always about that. Hey, if I had a lot of money, maybe I'll spend a lot more to help people. But it is what it is. We gotta do what we can with what we got. And then till we get to the next step. Just the reality. And plus, we're better in numbers than we are if we were separated. So yeah, you got 20 cents, I got 25, she got 10. We throw it together. We got some money, you know.
Well, when I try to get people to put their money together to donate for you, oh, it was hell and hot water. It was smoke in the city.
Yeah, because you were talking about holding. They don't trust you.
Oh, okay, but they trust Drake.
But that's different.
He a district councilman. If you don't trust him, you don't trust nobody. So everybody donate to Steve and donate to Dre. He got tuition. Is y'all gonna donate?
Look, I got a lady, she called me specifically and said, Steve, I want to make a donation to the organization. I'm like, okay, bring it on. She bring it. I'm bring you $120. Okay.
Oh, see, there you go. See, I like that. Now I need everybody on here to donate tonight.
Hey, I'll get to like the point where, who was that? They said, don't matter what you bring what you got.
Long as it's green. We don't check silver or copper. Come on.
They be choosy now. But I'm gonna tell you, I honestly do feel good about the outcome of the election. Hey, we definitely, Arnold, you gotta talk about this the state's attorney thing because we need to know how that's gonna turn out. That's going back and forth.
Right.
Let me okay, everybody know that Congressman won. He's as part of the west side area of the ward, or part of the ward that was in his district. In the 36th ward, he lost by 52 votes, I think it was, or 72. I have to look again on the notes I wrote down on my paper. That's 36th ward where he lost. Tina Collins came in first as far as that part of the district. But everywhere else, in every precinct, the congressman won by minimally 50% or better of the vote in those precincts. I didn't see any precinct where either candidate which opposed the congressman received more than 35% in that precinct, no matter what ward it was in. Other than, as I just said, only when it came to the 36th ward. So Congressman won 29th ward, 65% of the vote. 8th ward, 51% of the vote. 37th ward, 54% of the vote. 27th ward, 59% of the vote. 24th ward, 58% of the vote. So in every precinct in those wards, Congressman run the table on.
I'm trying to figure out how Gilbert Villegas ward didn't get. That's the 36, right?
Yeah, well, I kind of was in discussion and looking at the makeup of those wards. They felt with the philosophy or politics that they trended more towards Tina Collins than Congressman Davis.
But you do understand the 36 ward. It's only the opposite sides of the street on Grand. That's all you got in 36 ward. It's just what do you want to say? The south side and the north side of the street on Grand. That's the 36 ward, starting from the Brickyard all the way down to West. It doesn't go into the side streets. It doesn't go into the neighborhood. It's just whatever properties on. And so that could have been 5 people. It could have been 10 people.
But you see, you don't have much of a black population in that precinct.
So what's your point? Keenan still won. She's black.
Well, but
a little bit more progressive over there.
What's that, like ultra black or something?
No, Latino folks are more progressive than black folks are, especially because with the influx of migrants they want to be on that side of the coin. They want to make sure, because it's the progressives that are opening the pathways for them to get work permits and get these housing funds and things that they're seeking. So, you know, if Keena is on that side, they're going to go with her as being seen as the most progressive candidate in the race.
So Keena was.
You sure about that? Because Mexicans don't like Venezuelans.
Hold on. But Keena was progressive enough to say that she wanted to defund the police, and she was progressive enough to say, I've never voted before. So, but I'm a candidate.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. That's neither here nor there. I did talk to Gilbert Villegas, 36 Wards Alderman. I talked to his chief of staff a couple of days back, and she just kind of told me we weren't really pushing anybody in any of the campaigns. They wasn't pushing. They were just focusing on what they were trying to do to solidify where they're at.
Now, Congressman Davis was on that card for the 36 Wards.
Okay. For committeeman?
No, for Congress.
Okay, for Congress. But I'm saying, who's running? Was Gilbert running for committeeman or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So that's it. That's when. Right.
And he had endorsed the Congress.
Okay, well there it is.
Now on the sub-circuit, 7th sub-circuit, Owen Shelby and Deidre Fallman, look at it as being a 60-40
swipe.
Yeah, right. And I would say that's same ward. So he was carried on Congressman Davis' palm card as well. So that vote lined up accordingly as the congressman's vote.
Gotcha.
And then on the state's attorney, well, Marianne Sparopoulos, same thing, with the exception that 37 Ward had a lot more Hispanic, and again, Martinez and Sparopoulos. She carried 37th Ward, Martinez, as I was sharing with you, Steve, the third precinct in the 29th Ward, she carried due to those Hispanics that were registered and voted. They voted more for her.
Right.
Even though the end result was Marianne Sparopoulos votes on the 60-40. Now, the state's attorney's race, the way it seems to be trending now, and now it's a matter of the outstanding vote, where the vote that's out there coming from. What do we mean that in the city, west side, outside, downtown, or white, black, other communities, you name it.
Right.
It's just a suburban vote. Clearly, everybody knows there are blacks and others in the suburban area, but on the outstanding vote as it's coming in or mail-in, we're speaking of, it's trending toward Clayton Harris that made up about 7,000 to 8,000 votes these last 3 days. When the voting process began, he was down by 13,000 votes. So if that trend continues, we won't know. Obviously, it's where the ballots or the outstanding mail-in votes are coming from, suburban, city, what part of the suburb, what part of the city. Then we'll give an indication.
Right.
But if I'm, like I said, too close to call, I said then that night, no, that's not enough of a buffer zone. Now, if it had been 20,000, yeah, I might have said if we close the gap, if we close, but we still lose.
Right.
But it could go either way now.
I thought it said by next Friday, maybe.
Well, let me say this. You know, like if Harris don't win and that white woman win, I'm not gonna vote for her just cause she a Democratic. I'm gonna vote for Phil Reddy. I'm going against it. I do not want her to win, and I'm going for Republican Phil Reddy.
My brother.
That's interesting. Yeah, but Phil Reddy is not really a Republican.
Right.
He you know, he's always been Democrat. He's just doing that because he needs a spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just don't want her to win.
Why you don't want her to win? What's wrong with her because of that? She prosecuted that kid.
Yeah, cause she prosecuted that 10-year-old kid, black kid.
My Lord.
Right.
Well, headlines, just like we just, in the last automatic race with C.B. Johnson campaign
Someone was detected at your front door outside.
and the runoff where the count of the vote proved to be crucial as to the outcome, and whether it'll be first a runoff and then who will win. The last automatic race. So that's kind of like where things are right now, and Steve, I'll give the Fed, I'll have the numbers maybe next Sunday and last.
Actually, here you go right here. This
Someone was
is as
detected at your front door outside.
Burke lead on Harris was narrowing and still remained too close. As of 5:21, this began yesterday. She was up 4,777, 4,770 numbers.
And that could be wiped out in one day. Either candidate, to be honest, is just that close. It's just a matter of where the mail-in ballot's coming from.
Right.
What side or where in the suburb want to sit.
Right. Well, it's getting close, y'all, to that time. We got it in, and got some things said. Yeah, we got a bunch of people on. You got anything in conclusion, Tiny? How about you, Miss J?
I just want to say I'm glad to know that we'll still move right along with this podcast, and we are coming together and expressing and discussing all our agreements and disagreements. But that's a good thing. That's good. But if you got relatives or anybody might be looking for work, you can send them to me, 300 North Central, on Monday and Wednesday, by between 10:30 and 11 o'clock. I do job placements. And plus I'm having, for the ones that got little kids, grandkids or kids, I'm having an Easter egg hunt in my lot Saturday, starting at 1 o'clock.
All right. There you go. How about you, Clay? You got anything, Clay? What you say, Clay, born? I guess you don't. Angelica, you have anything in conclusion?
No, I agree with Ms. Jacob. I enjoyed the healthy dialogue, the information, the knowledge. And again, that's it. Everybody have a good week.
She only came on because Arn real.
Okay. What?
You know it.
I should have seen your citizen.
What Arnold say?
Hey, Danny said, watch them senior citizens. You say, what'd you say, that Bingham? You got anything in conclusion? Guess not.
No,
The front door outside.
I just like to say I enjoyed everything this evening. And the only thing that we have to do as Black people is to come together in unity. That's the thing, with the Lord in front of us. And we can make it. If we would do that, we'd be a whole lot better off. Thanks.
Man, you sound like Bush Campbell, boy. You sound like Bush Campbell. Behold how great it is to dwell together in unity. Psalms, what's that, 33 verse 1? Or 133 verse 1. Yeah. All right. How about iPhone? Who's on iPhone? Anybody on iPhone got anything to say? Go ahead, let me know. Let me see what you got to say. Okay. What about my man Sam? Sam, I am Dave. Where you been, Sam? What you got to say?
Oh, not too much. Enjoyed the discussion. I was going to ask Angelica and also DeAndre what's going on with the police councils that they're on. I guess Angelica has left, but maybe DeAndre can answer.
I'm glad you brought that up, because this Thursday at 6 o'clock at Northwest Austin Council, 5730 West Division, we will have a meet and greet And we will be meeting the 25th District Police Commander Nelson Perez, which has been in the seat for about 8 months now or so. And we will be meeting the 15th District Commander, what's this, Carlin Morse. And he's been there about the same time, 8 months or so. And he will be accompanied by his district Deputy Chief, Arnaldo Gutierrez, which he has been in that position for about 8 months. So, in conclusion, we will also have 15 district councils, and we will also have 25th district council. So we're gonna have a party, y'all, so we can get to meet everybody that's supposed to be helping us and working with us, and we working with them to make a better West Side, to make a better city, to make a better community. So don't forget to come out this Thursday, what is that, March the 28th at 6 o'clock, Northwest Austin Council, and be there, be square, y'all.
I got a question for DeAndre. Will there be entertainment there?
No, man, I gotta.
You want to drive attendance. You want to, if you're going to have entertainment, you got to tell us ahead of time.
Yeah, don't forget next Sunday is Easter. But Easter. No.
So Steve, I don't know if you called on me, but I would like to say that the Peacemakers have started a peace initiative, and we'd like to get as much support as we can get from the group.
Okay. That's what it's supposed to be about. Peacemakers are supposed to be a support group that helps others, and others help others also. You definitely right. You definitely right about that. Anybody else got anything to add to the conversation tonight? Because right now we're about to wind it down. Wind it up.
Well, you know what? Let me just say, black people, man, we gotta get off the liberal plantation. We gotta get off the Jesus plantation. That's the only way we're gonna get somewhere.
Yeah, but we ain't got nothing better right now. So till that other train comes.
You got DeAndre.
Man.
Yeah.
Young.
We got better. We got better. They right in front of us. We got better. Do you want better?
But he ain't putting down better. He ain't putting down Jesus, and he ain't putting down little travel.
Hey, Steve, Jesus ain't did nothing for nobody since we got here. Nobody.
Well, I just want to say I enjoyed myself tonight, even though our young man did not vote. Okay. But I had a great time, and I called him on. I'm gonna see what he gonna do next election.
I'm gonna
call you, and I'll meet you at the polling place. Oh, you don't poll where I poll.
Yeah, I only vote for presidents. That's it. President.
Well, you forget the president need help too. He needs somebody that's gonna be aligned with him, so he
got
can
me
get some stuff
and he
done.
got P. Ray. He got me and P. Ray. That's it.
Oh, I don't know P. Ray. Who's P. Ray?
The young lady who came, the young student Republican.
Oh, don't be talking to me. No.
Yeah.
No.
I ain't did nothing to bad. I'm in.
Ooh, that's funny.
She's so funny, but hey, like they say, bless her heart. Bless her heart. We gonna put down. What you got, DeAndre? You gonna wrap it up?
Yeah, shit, man. To Sam. So today the district councils, we just had a quarterly meeting to talk about some of the work that we're doing. We're working on working groups. We have a policy working group. We have an accountability working group. We have a restorative justice working group. We have an education working group. And we have what was the first one? A planning working group, I think it was called. And basically in these individual groups, we're just discussing some of the matters at hand and how we want to see the commission itself move when they are fully installed. And like I said before, if you all didn't know, I am one of the people in a running to become a commissioner, and got a lot of well wishes today from my fellow district counselors. So hopefully, that means some good come April 7th when the mayor has the deadline to make this decision of who's going to be on the commission. So that's pretty much it. So
We need you there.
yeah.
We need the representation for the West Side.
Sure. Want to say anything, Arnold? There you go. Oh, he cut the whole thing off. Oh, shit.
Well, I just wanna ask everyone out there on this podcast to invite 2 people each Sunday evening when we talking to one another so we can grow this. And let's just continue the conversation and working.
Keep it on.
All right, y'all. So, like I said, you know how we do. Between the hours of 6 and 8 on the Sunday, we bring you the Northwest Austin Council. We got various ways you can interact with the show: the Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom. It's really up to you. The one you want to choose. If you're on that Facebook or that YouTube, you type in the comment section, and we can see it. We bring you right in the show that way. Unless you just want to have a conversation with us, then you just jump on the Zoom and then you come right in the show. Mute. You know what I'm saying? Keep it clean. We're gonna disagree, but we also gonna be family. So that's the great thing about it. At the end of the day, I always like to say in closing, we have open seats at the table. We just trying to welcome y'all on home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.